Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. Death toll rising from Hurricane Melissa, total now at 24. Widespread looting reported in Black River, St. Elizabeth. And later in sports, West Indies complete 3-0 sweep of Bangladesh in T20 series. Thank you for joining us. I'm Carrie Ann Simpson. Here are the details. The death toll from Hurricane Melissa is expected to increase. That's according to Minister of Information, Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon. During a special press briefing at Jamaica House a short while ago, she revealed that at least 5 more people have been reported dead.
Last night, I would have reported that there were 19 confirmed deaths, 19 Jamaicans who lost their lives. And this morning, I've confirmed that that number has not changed. But we have reports that are quite credible of the potential of 4 bodies being in Westmoreland that need to be retrieved and 1 in St. Elizabeth.
And Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness is expected to continue touring more parishes today. Over the past couple of days, the Prime Minister has visited St. Elizabeth, St. James and Westmoreland. Information Minister Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon provided an update on the logistics.
Yesterday, the Prime Minister did Hanover and Westmoreland, and so today he will be, obviously dependent on the weather, doing Trelawney, Manchester and St. James. The interior of the island also was very much affected, Minister Marks. I know in Manchester there is quite a bit of damage, and we're also hearing reports from Clarendon. And so the Prime Minister will be looking at those areas today.
The Information Minister says while the roads are being cleared, it is still difficult to travel, and so by air is the most ideal way to go. Transport Minister Darrell Vaz revealed that the government will be receiving helicopters in the coming days to help with the aerial assessments, transportation of critical aid and people during this emergency.
To transfer and treat patients that may need underground treatment, plus, of course, be able to carry a lot of relief supplies. Not to mention that some of the charitable organizations that are here, the big ones, have their own assets, private helicopters, and I suspect that by end of today, we will probably have about 6 or 7 of those.
Widespread looting has been reported in Black River, St. Elizabeth in the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa. The town has been flattened, leaving several establishments exposed. Residents who have been desperate for aid have resorted to helping themselves. They've taken items from wholesales and other stores. We spoke with head of the St. Elizabeth Police Division, SSP Coleridge Minto.
As well as the High Command, and additional assets were sent to the space to assist us to ensure that we maintain law and order, even as we pick up the pieces during this very difficult period. We're also supported by a contingent of soldiers from the Jamaica Defence Force, and so there's a joint presence now in the town centre and environs to ensure that we protect what is left of some of the businesses and ensure that those properties that are not fully destroyed remain intact. Many of the business owners are now in the parish and are securing the remains of their property.
He says the death toll in the parish is rising.
We have confirmed now 6 persons who died as a result of this horrific hurricane. The last body was picked up yesterday, late yesterday evening by Brown's Funeral Home, and that body, an elderly gentleman from the Five Spen area.
In Santa Cruz, persons are also desperate for help. The Member of Parliament for Northeast St. Elizabeth, Zulika Jess, has joined the calls. Details in this report.
After a walkthrough of some of the worst impacted areas in northeastern St. Elizabeth, Member of Parliament Zulika Jess made this appeal.
We need some assistance. We need urgent assistance. We need for there to be a declaration that this is a disaster area and for urgent help to come into the constituency.
Her cries for help echoed by some residents.
We want help for bright me. I want help with me house too.
We want help.
Help.
We need help. I want to just go to clean up the place. The place I can't believe.
Right,
I first time I see the kids too. That one that's terrible. No man, we need help. And let me tell you.
This elderly resident, who gave her name as Gwenny, hasn't been able to get to her home in Brighton District, Santa Cruz.
This time was bad man. Here I know what's matter. They go down, they go see. Go see what I want. I don't pretend to have this culture. I breathe on this storm. It's terrible. And it clothes, everything washed left in here. My house, you know, my house still washed right too.
She was in a shelter when the hurricane made landfall.
The shelter, but pure water, pure water, and we get wet up, and sheets wet up, clothes wet up, everything. You know, the bed mattress blow away and gone.
So give me a comparison. So how was Gilbert and Beryl and this one? Which one is the worst?
This one is the worst.
But despite the destruction,
we're glad to be alive, man. We got thanks.
How was it? How was the storm?
How was the storm? Why? I can't tell you. Storm wicked, bad, terrible. See? But we give God thanks. We have life. See me? So, bless upon yourself.
Aliyah Bryant, TVJ News.
The country's agricultural sector is again at the mercy of the weather elements after just recovering from the ravages of Hurricane Beryl. The devastation from the sector is yet to be seen, but it is expected to be in the billions. Agriculture Minister Floyd Green provided an update on TVJ's Smile Jamaica program.
Jamaica's breadbasket. Acres of farmland now lie battered. What once stood tall are now rows of toppled banana stalks, vegetation washed out and livestock pens left in ruin. Speaking on Smile Jamaica this morning, Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries Floyd Green says assessments are still being done.
Parishes like St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Trelawney, people live where they farm. All right. So the farm is right next door to your house. So when the house suffers severe damage, the farm suffers severe damage. And where this particular hurricane walked, again, a lot of our vegetable farmers, a lot of our banana, plantain farmers in South St. James, vegetable farmers in Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, and yam farmers in Trelawney.
Minister Green says he has deployed a team headed by State Minister Franklin Witter and Permanent Secretary Dermon Luke Spence today to assess damage and assist residents in the worst affected areas.
We've heard about significant damage to banana planting. We've heard about significant damage to livestock, poultry farmers, those small backyard farmers, lost chickens, lost cubs in Beryl. We lost about 300,000. I estimate that we will lose a lot more. You know, we've been having some challenges with egg production since Beryl. Lost a lot of laborers. I think we lost about 40,000 in Beryl. I've already got one report of one farmer who lost 45,000.
Oh. He says by Monday he hopes to have a comprehensive report on the extent of the damage.
We will rebuild. We always rebuild. And in each, storm, weather event, hurricane, we're much better able to treat with it. So already we have a recovery plan. Our recovery plan is then sized based on the scope of the disaster. So, for example, we already have a stockpile of seeds that we hold for disaster. We were almost about to use them because we were at the end of the hurricane season. And the RILA team was saying, boy, let's get out there, get the farmers. They want to plant for Christmas. And luckily, we said, just hold on, let's see out the season. So we have those, and as soon as we can get to some of the farmers, we will start distributing, hopefully next week. Additionally, we already have a system that we did not pull down, that we stood up for Beryl. So Michael Price heads our recovery task force. that has already been reactivated. What that helps us to do is to streamline all the assistance to agriculture so we're not duplicating. We found that helped us well in Beryl so that we could stretch the impact of the resources that we have.
Aaliyah Bryant, TVJ News.
And Hurricane Melissa left a trail of destruction in the historic town of Falmouth in Trelawney. Sandy Williams saw the devastation firsthand.
They're not driving in a river. In fact, this is the Market Street main road which leads directly into the town of Falmouth in that direction. So the town is also underwater. Inside the town, there's widespread damage.
90% or more of all wooden and concrete houses that has galvanized roofs in this entire town are gone. A lot of the electricity poles are down with the cannons. JPS office here, history. It's as if it never existed.
At this gas station, the roof didn't just lift off, it came crashing down, flattening everything in its path. The once towering signs that guided motorists now lie face down, their messages buried beneath Melissa's wrath. Across town, residents walk through flood waters, some carrying what's left of their belongings, others simply helping each other. In moments like these, the human spirit shines brightest, even when the sun hasn't. Entire roofs vanished, gone with the wind, literally, leaving living rooms exposed to the elements. On every street corner, zinc sheets and broken solar panels tell the story of a storm that spared nothing and no one. A downed utility pole and mangled transformer block the main road, a stark reminder that for many residents, light at the end of the tunnel is still out of reach.
The town has been flooded like this before with consistent rain, because the drains are not kept as often as should. So when the rain comes down, there's not enough time. So that's causing the flooding. And then the trees fall in the dragon, which helps to block the flow of water, banks it up, and the garbage and other stuff pulled in by water from different places helps to block it. That is a channel to set the town free. But I'm telling you, when you walk town, it's not the Falmouth you just Google.
At the Falmouth Hospital, ground zero for destruction, the female medical and surgical ward is unrecognizable. Ceilings have caved in, walls burst open, and beds meant for patients now cradles boxes of drenched medical supplies. A wet floor sign peeks out from under debris, a grim touch of irony in a building where everything is now wet and nothing feels safe. The accident and emergency unit fared no better. Broken windows, no ceilings, and ruined equipment, a hospital in need of healing itself. Still, amid the ruin, the cleanup has begun. A work crew has been removing the down utility poles.
Now it's uncertain when the town will go back to normalcy, but by the look of it, it might take some while. But the flood waters is not stopping business for residents and motorists. As you can see, motorists have been traversing the area slowly but cautiously because there are sections of the roadway where the water level is higher than others. Reporting from Falmouth in Trelawney, I'm Sandy Williams for TVJ News.
Thank you, Sandy. It is time for a break here on the Midday News, but stay with us. More stories when we return. The political representatives have been assessing the damage in Manchester. Here's Yannick Williams.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa, Mandeville's Mayor Donovan Mitchell has been visiting affected areas. Among the areas he toured was the market.
We went and we did a thorough walk of the market. There are about 2 or 3 down poles there. The lighting system is down. There are roof problems there, the office, the major area for meat and that. So What I've said to the staff is to get the place cleaned up and ready, because we don't want to put any vendor or any customer in harm's way.
He says the hurricane caused widespread destruction, including flooding and power outages impacting many areas.
I realize that there are a significant amount of persons that have lost zinc and roofing and all of that, so we're doing that assessment. Also, the SDC and the other agencies will do their assessment, so they just have to wait a little bit before we can get some things to these persons. We have their interests at heart, and we're just asking them to hold on until we get to them.
Rhoda Crawford also visited several communities. It's part of her own assessment before the recovery begins.
In terms of the damage suffered, one of the greatest commonality among everyone here is the loss of electricity. Most, if not all, communities across the constituency are currently without electricity. Another major problem that is common among all of us is the telecommunication issues.
She also received complaints from the farming community.
Quite a number of farmers have totally lost their produce, and not just the vegetable farmers, but those who rear chickens and animal. Total destructions.
She says the government is working to restore essential services and provide aid to affected communities.
So together we know that we're going to build back our communities, we're going to build back our home, we're going to build back our constituency, we're going to build back the parish, and we're going to build back Jamaica. We are a resilient.
Yannick Williams, TVJ News.
Connectivity remains a problem in St. Anne, which was hard hit by Hurricane Melissa. Here once again is Sandy Williams.
I'm standing in Prairie, and behind me is a scene of damage. It's just one of several damage along this roadway. This is a digital receiver that has collapsed during the passage of Hurricane Beryl. Now from Mama Bay right back to Discovery Bay, the scene has been one of widespread damage. Down large trees and utility poles, cutting electricity to several communities. Now the residents say the winds were relentless overnight, snapping poles and uprooting large trees. For now, work crews are out trying to remove the debris, but movement along the corridor remains slow, and so motorists are being urged to proceed with caution as recovery works continue across the parish. I'm Sandy Williams reporting for TVJ News.
Over in St. Mary, there's desperation among residents who cannot access money from automated banking machines across the parish because of power outage as a result of Hurricane Melissa. TVJ News caught up with a few who left disappointed.
From yesterday, I've been trying to get some cash, and all the ATMs are down.
Where are we?
We went again on Rockabessa in Ochi, and right here in Port Maria. No electricity, everything is down.
Okay, I have no money from there, I have no food, nothing at all in my house.
As a farmer, I look medication when I do. I have to wait. That's how the system said. Yeah, man, because we don't know power, we don't know this, we don't know that money shot.
And at least one credit union is urging customers to be patient as they await power restoration.
We have a number of persons who come in since morning. Some of them, we were here yesterday as well, and some even came in, but due to what's happening, we're unable to service them.
Residents of Landui in St. Thomas say the Easington Bridge is one rainfall away from collapse. A section of the roadway leading to the bridge gave way Thursday with a truck carrying construction material. The police have since placed caution tape around the disaster area, now impassable to motorists.
The situation behind us as we speak is something that has been building for a number of years, and something that was brought to the attention of all the necessary agencies and authority for the past 10 to 12 years. We have been grappling with these conditions for this long time, where the NAA Parish Council, Mines and Geology, and all the relevant agency was informed and was brought to the location where the current disaster exists. And for this to happen at this time, when they were pre-warned, it is something that it is unacceptable to the citizens of the general space. Landoway, Ramble, Islington, Norris, and all those areas.
Residents argue that alternative routes to communities beyond the bridge is not only longer but costly and risky. Additionally, there are concerns about landslides.
And at this time, all of those rocks are now loosened and is ready to fall. The last tropical storm that came in Beryl, tons of rocks fell on the ground.
It's two-way to corner. It's either Woodburn or Norris. So I would like the bridge to fix, because if the vehicle is going to corner from Norris, they have to drive all the way around to Woodburn, and I would like this bridge to be fixed.
The Sangster International Airport is expected to be reopened on Saturday to commercial flights. Humanitarian aid flights, on the other hand, have started to arrive today. Transport Minister Darrell Vaz says the facility was hit significantly by Hurricane Melissa.
We are taking flights, relief flights in Montego Bay now for 2 days. And finally and thankfully, 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, MBJ will open for commercial passengers.
Swarmed the Norman Manley International Airport from as far as western Jamaica, trying to get a flight out of the country. Unfortunately, not everyone was able to leave. Some are expected to return to the airport today. Now, rescheduled flights have been booked throughout the weekend into next week. United Nations resident coordinator in Jamaica, Dennis Zulu, says Hurricane Melissa has caused unprecedented devastation across Jamaica and has called the international community to support. More in this report.
Tremendous unprecedented devastation of infrastructure. That's how United Nations resident coordinator in Jamaica, Dennis Zulu, described the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa. Speaking at a United Nations press conference Wednesday, Mr. Zulu described the damage as levels never seen before.
We have people living in shelters across the country, and at the moment, what we are seeing in preliminary assessments is a country that's been devastated to levels never seen before.
He said the United Nations is working in partnership with national authorities and other partners, both bilateral and multilateral partners, to undertake the first assessment of the extent of the problem.
We have therefore working close with government and the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency, CDMA, putting together a response, and immediately some of the actions that will be taken is really around life support initiatives or life sustaining initiatives, making available water, food, and other resources that immediately in need by the people being affected.
Mr. Zulu added that the UN does not have the actual figures of how many people are impacted, but estimates the number is very large. It is why he's calling on the international community for support.
And really calling upon all partners and goodwill wishes across the world to support Jamaica. Jamaica had been making tremendous progress towards sorting out its economic situation. It was upward looking, sorted out its debt issues, but now with what has happened, it will take a lot of resources to be able to reconstruct and get it back on the upward trajectory. So the country of Jamaica and the government and the people of Jamaica need the support of all of us, really.
Anthony Atkinson, TVJ News.
It is now time for the Business Minute.
Remittance flows or money sent home by Jamaicans abroad will once again have to play a major role in rebuilding the country following the devastation caused by Hurricane Melissa. These flows account for $3.5 billion or almost 24% of Jamaica's GDP during the COVID-19 pandemic. Remittances amounted to $3.4 billion in 2022, 2023 and 2024. Between April and August this year, remittances totaled $2.4 billion. Remittances also accounted for 179% of total export earnings, 77% of gross tourism expenditure, and over 2,000% of foreign direct investment inflows last year. Further afield, U.S. President Donald Trump and his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping have met for the first time in 6 years, raising hopes for a de-escalation of tensions between the world's two biggest economies. Trump described the talks held in South Korea as amazing, while Beijing said they had reached a consensus to resolve major trade issues. Relations have been tense since Trump began imposing tariffs on China, which Beijing responded with its own. They agreed to a truce in May, but tensions remained high. And that's it for the Business Minute. I'm Prince Moore.
Thank you, Prince. Time now for the top stories from around the world.
In the region, Trinidad and Tobago is to extend support to Jamaica to bolster the recovery effort following the passage of Hurricane Melissa. Prime Minister Kamla Prasad-Visesa says her government will provide whatever resources are needed to quickly recover from the onslaught of the hurricane. A shipment of relief items was expected to have been dispatched Thursday. On the international scene, the Dutch centrist Liberal Party of Rob Jetten has won Wednesday's neck-and-neck election race, according to vote analysis indicating it cannot be beaten by anti-Islam populist Geert Wilders. Jetten's D66 currently has a narrow lead of 15,000 votes over Wilders' Freedom Party, and the Dutch news agency ANP says even though the vote count is not complete, Wilders can no longer win. Jetten said he was very proud of this historic result, adding that he now felt a great responsibility to form a stable government. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Shane Masters.